Well, hello there. I'm Zomphan, and welcome back to Survival Minecraft. I've been a little bit busy. Not much. Honestly, this time, really not much. I did a little bit of mining, got some copper and iron. I figured out why my charcoal wasn't coming through. Um, yeah, that's just something that it'll come by eventually. I'll just keep it in there until I actually need it. Uh, Last episode we built these two buildings, including that down there, and I did get a hold of some more, berries. So we got some foliage, which I really enjoy. We also brought it up in here, so there's some nice whatnot stuff going on over here. The sugarcane farm is actually producing rather well now that I've let it run a little bit. This area is still pretty sparse, but we'll figure that out later. I've hidden a few torches under some carpet that I had spare, thinking that, you know what, it'll look nicer if there's as little torch action going on as possible. But what's more important is that I now have a fully semi as organized as I could think to get it and functioning. That's the important part. Functioning storage area thing going on here because we couldn't open these at the end of the last episode. Wait. Aha! And the sugarcane farm is complete. It's fixed. Kind of. This is still bugging me, but it's fine. What's mostly important is that basically everything that I need storage-wise is basically right next door to one another. Now, it is no surprise to anyone, well, anyone who's watched more than just one episode will know that I die a lot. And I know why. It's one, because I run around with no armor, and two, I live in a dark oak forest, which is, quite frankly, probably one of the more dangerous places to live, considering when it becomes nighttime, under this canopy gets darker a lot faster than it does in a lot of other biomes, just simply because there's basically no light coming through to begin with, other than like these open spaces. Which means that before I get to a bed, for the most part, it gets a little bit too dark in a lot of places, and then mobs spawn. Mostly creepers. So we're gonna have to fix that. And the best way I can think to do that is, well, one, cut away a bunch of trees. It's gonna take a little bit of time to do it. So we'll see how far I get before I either nearly break. Oh, I'll have to get the other diamond axe. Wait until I basically nearly break both my diamond axes. Anyway, let me go get my other axe, and I'm gonna try something a little bit different when it comes to chopping down these trees, and I hope you enjoy it. That took so long to do. Like, I literally spent 2 hours, and then you might be able to see a little bit of a cut in time lapse. I don't really quite know yet, but there's like about halfway through it, I had to go find more dirt. So I went and found some dirt pockets down in the mine that I knew existed. Now, this is eventually going to continue on But I think for today's purposes of getting another field down, this gives me a much better idea of the space that we have to use in this area. There's a lot more space than I thought there might have could have been, so maybe we'll end up with another building if I can think of another reason to have a building. Or I should say think of a reason to have a building there. But for right now, I've decided what I want to do with that big old empty space. I'm gonna try and show it in the time lapse, but we had more visitors. I was a little bit more successful at getting rid of them this time than I normally am. But I think that's a good place for them. Yeah, make some use of a blank space that I didn't know what I was gonna do with it anyway. So anyway, this is what we have to work with, and I think it's gonna make a really nice graveyard. What I think might be good is if I make another sort of like, build them in sections instead of just making out one mass grave. Make it look like maybe that's a section for the family of whoever was buried in this tomb. Hello? You don't see me. I think that would be a really good thing to do. And I'm just gonna say for now, right there. Yeah. Oh, that's cute. Okay. And then maybe we could put another one. Like, just maybe, because I did leave a little bit of... Oh, yeah, there's a path that's running through here. One goes all the way straight through to there, which, looking back at it now... I think something cool could go there eventually. And then of course there's this faded path that goes on this way. So I think we could put, since that one's wheat, maybe we could do something with our little beetroots right there. There we go, beetroots. Kind of a useless crop, but it looks nice, and yeah. I don't think I want to build... I was going to build another one just for potatoes, but I'm not completely sold on it unless I bring this around and curve it. Kind of like end it over there somewhere, and then do something with this, but at the same time I kind of think I have an idea for something in this big area. This field actually took up a little bit more space than I meant it to. But anyway, I like it. You come through here, it's a little bit more dense. You've got plants scattered about all over the place, and now it kind of makes sense as to why there's crops all up in here. Because now there are graveyards that are overgrown with crops. And yes, the crops are a little bit more segmented and a little bit more organized than they would be in this actual situation of an overgrown graveyard. But that's just for my own sanity's sake. That being said, this is going to take some time to actually grow, but it's okay. I like using beetroot for a lot of I like using it for weeds, because when it grows it looks like a weed. So they're good for those particular purposes. I think that's probably all I want to do for farming and building today. Well, maybe not building. There's still a little bit more to do, but it's more of the planning situation. You see, I'm getting to a point where not a lot of progress, or at least quick progress, and not just trying to get back what I missed, needs to be done, and I can't do that without good tools, and I am having a very, very hard time finding more diamonds. I mean, it took me 6 hours to find that set that I originally had, and it burned. So it looks like I may have to fool with villagers again. Yay. Luckily, we're not in hardcore this time, so hopefully this will go a little bit faster. Oh, I need, where did I put it? Where did I put the things I need? Not what I need. That's not either. That's not it. There it is. Well, yeah, I should have brought my bed with me, but that's fine. Anyway, my thought process is that I need a bunch of wool anyway, uh, for when I upgrade my armor, and I also, jeez, you guys are, never mind. One second, it's too loud. It's too loud. I'm going over here. Anyway, my thought process is that I have to go for an adventure anyway to find blocks and such that I just don't have access to right now. And I will continue to not have access to said blocks until I go on said adventure. And whilst I'm on adventure, I may as well, you know, do the thing. Get the villagers, or at least find the village. I don't remember. I think we found one on the way to finding this place, but I don't remember. So I'll have to look and see if I have coordinates to a village. If not, well, we're gonna have a fun time. Either way, if we're gonna have to go see a village, then we don't need that there. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention. I was, while I was looking for dirt, I found another axle. Or was it? No, while I was looking for the iron between episodes, I ran into another axolotl. So now we have a gold axolotl and a brown axolotl. I don't want to let them go yet because I'm pretty sure they'll despawn or find some way to kill themselves if I don't put them in a nice habitat. So I'll just leave them how they are for now. Oh, I have orange cows. Alright, you're not a cow, you're a sheep. So the idea is, if I just shear all these sheep, that will give me all the wool I need for our next endeavor. So yeah, that's basically that's the next plan. I'm gonna spend the next probably good long while breeding up my cows and shearing my sheep. And I'll see you guys after that's done. I may have gone a little bit overboard. This is what I got. I decided after shearing my sheep that it was going to take so long to shear my sheep that I should probably go ahead and start the planning process with what wool I had, and then it just kind of spiraled into whatever it is we're looking at right now. Now, I've got myself some signs because I really do want to label certain things that I know what they're going to be. And that will help me sort of decide what some of these other buildings, like these right here, I don't know what they're going to be for. They may just be some cute facade houses and whatnot. And that's probably what some of these are going to end up being, just facades. I was also thinking I could put some, what do they call, some farms and whatnot in some of these. Because this is, as I was saying, it's going to be a village. I want to keep the bare minimum that I need in order to survive for the moment until I get to the bigger villager hall project sort of situation that I am trying to figure out in my head right now. But until I have access to more blocks and I find a suitable area to do said place in, I think this will be a area to get us along for quite some time. I've planned quite a bit, and I don't know how much, but I'm actually going to end up using. So the first thing, which is probably the most important, is that we have the barracks of the town. Quite obviously, you know, this place is meant for defense. And I'm thinking I'm gonna put the breeder right here, and then make a sort of tunnel situation where the villagers will come out right here. If we continue off in this direction whilst we're still on this level, we're gonna come into the foraging area. my idea is that a big old forge could go right here, and then we can have basically all of our weapons and tools and armor going on right here. So this is our forge. Up there, I'm thinking this will end up being the sort of mayor's house situation, or maybe I'll put my masons in here. I mean, it's right here at the ravine, and if I remember correctly, I have some iron to get right there. But that can be settled for later. I think this will be a perfect place to put my masons if and when I get some. It'll be a little bit far away from all the other trading area things going on, but I don't know, it makes sense for it to be near a ravine. At least that's my thought process behind the whole thing. Now, if we go across the bridge, I kind of want to go across the bridge and then work our way back down. And here is where I'm going to put my librarians and maybe a few cartographers. We'll see how far that gets. Over here, I'm thinking we put something like... Actually, we could put our librarians there and the cartographers in one of these, and I'm not exactly sure what to put in the others. It was one building that I was going to use for something else, and I didn't like the idea of just having a bunch of long, skinny buildings with a bunch of villagers in them. So I split it up into 2 separate buildings, and now I don't know what to do with them. I'm going to leave these for now and decide what I want to do with them later. Over here is basically where most of the farming is going to be done. I've already decided that I want these to be automatic farms, and then maybe even put like a really tiny pumpkin and melon farm. So I'm going to put some pumpkins and some melons right there, and then these are going to be regular, just automatic farms. And that's what those 3 are going to be. Eventually, you know, this is something that's going to take quite some time. I'm not going to be able to do all of this in one episode, but it's good to get all this planned out now, so that way I can get it up and running and have more of an idea of what I need to look for and what I need to be mentally preparing myself for doing later on. In here, this is going to be the tavern. This is going to be where we're going to keep our clerics. I don't need very many of them. I'm probably going to keep maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3 if I'm feeling spicy, right here, and build this out to be like a cute little tavern, and then of course with some stables off to the side here for anyone that comes to visit. Now, if we follow this path and ignore the rain, we have these little buildings here that I'm not sure what to do with. It looked so empty in this spot without these little buildings. Well, without the outlay for these buildings here, so we'll see what we do there. It's the same thing with, say, this little diagonal piece here and these little buildings that I've planned out around here. I'm thinking farms. If I could figure out different ways to do farms, it would be really nice to have different ways to trade with villagers, you know, have different areas where I can just automatically go into this building and get something that I need to trade with somebody up there. It would just be a really cool idea. Right here I want a pond, something right here, just some kind of water feature or something to break up all the buildings. And then this is another one of those of I don't know what to do. Maybe I'll move my sugarcane farm into one of these areas because it's quite loud, and I could honestly use the extra storage space down there in the storage area. So, hello, my brethren. Hello, how are you today? I know. I didn't need your help. But yeah, that's all that's going on right here at this moment. At least in this section. There is something else that I want to show, but there are quite a few changes that I want to make to that. It's definitely a lot more filled out than my original plan was, and I kind of like it. I was going to put just a big lake in this area, but I think with the buildings and just the extension of just the different heights and whatnot, it just looks really cool, to me at least. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go fix up that other side, and I'll bring it back real quick. I got a little too excited to show you the first part of the plans. You know, I can't decide if this is more or less confusing to look at than the town. So what we got going on here is what I imagine to be the dock that would, well, what I imagine this to be is the docks that harbor and also send supplies, or I should say, get the supplies that would come from a main city of some sort and transport it to the town. So, if that makes sense. I don't know if I explained that perfectly fine, but it'll make sense. So this is what I'm thinking would be the sort of warehouse for the docks. So anything that comes in on a ship goes in here. And then I'm thinking a little crane out to the side of it to gather anything that's sort of rolled up to the edge here from this particular dock. Now this dock, I'm going to say, would be for smaller ships, because I imagine anything that might be a little bit bigger would have a hard time getting in and out of this particular section of the bay. And night is creeping up on me. And then, of course, we've got the little houses for all the dock workers. I have them going into, hopefully, what will end up being a slight slope, sort of creating almost like a natural, well, not natural, but a wall nonetheless. Of course, speaking of houses, we've got this one right here, which is going to be the docks master house. I'm thinking a little tower can go off here to the side. That way he or she can potentially see anything that's going on in the docks, because this is a little bit of an awkward area to be making docks and whatnot, and there will probably end up being some terraforming. Anyway, if you follow down this path, you'll get to where a much larger crane is going to end up being, and a much larger dock is going to end up being. And that's basically all I got for this. that's all I have for the docks section. There's really not a whole lot going on, but I figured I was going to show the entire project, so no sense in showing the busier half of it without showing, you know, where all this stuff for the village is coming from. You know, and then of course we'll have a path that's going all the way around here and through here. I'm thinking, you know, well-maintained farm fields from the docks all the way to the village. I really do think that some well-maintained fields would make this whole journey a little bit nicer to make, and also just really give the feel that that people have settled here. Yeah. So this is what our town's gonna end up being. Very slowly, all these very, very colorful and erratic shapes will become something that's actually semi-okay to look at. And that's actually all I really have time for. I guess next episode, there's no real reason I can't go do a little bit of exploration. I'm kind of dreading it, but it'll be fine. If you liked this episode, like, comment, share, all the YouTube stuff, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.